All right, guys, it's Alexis and Jake here, Downtown Rams, another podcast, another exclusive interview. This time we have new Rams wide receiver Easop Winston Jr. How's it going, man? Thanks again, and welcome back to the show.
It's going well. It's going well, man. Thanks for having me. And yeah, everything's going well right now, man. Obviously a new Ram, and just glad the whole process is over. You know, it was kind of stressful, but I'm just glad, to know where I'll be.
For sure, and we're so excited to talk to you again. We obviously talked to you pre-draft and had an interview with you, and then you ended up a Ram, so we're super excited about that. And just to, start this off, after the draft ended, you were one of the top available players. So what was that process like? How soon did you start getting calls from other teams?
I would say right away. I didn't get a combine invite, so I wasn't getting any calls around that time. But right after I did my virtual pro day, that's when the calls started coming in, and they kind of started. It started from there, went all the way up into the draft pretty much. I was talking to at least 2 teams a day, and obviously the Rams are one. So, just having regular conversations about, like, whether it be my medical or just about me as a person. It was a good thing to be able to be a part of those calls and stuff like that. And towards the draft, I knew the Rams were on my radar for sure. And around like the fifth or sixth round is when I was talking to a couple of their coaches. And then, pretty much right after the draft, I knew where I was going to be headed.
Yeah, well, we certainly love to hear that and love to have you, on the Rams. When we spoke with you earlier in the process, you said you had spoken with the Rams. Did you ultimately feel at that time that, this could be your destination, or like you said just now, was it really just all in the moment kind of during the draft that, this kind of all materialized?
It was kind of all in the moment because when I first started getting calls, I was hearing from a whole bunch of teams. But as the draft approached and everything, I started talking more to the Rams staff and everything. So they were very high on my list. So I'm not surprised that I'm here now. And then, like I said, once it got over, I kind of knew where I was going. They contacted me around the 5th and 6th round. So, yeah, they were always high on my list from the very beginning.
Yeah, what was it about the Rams that made you feel that they were the right place to sign?
Just watching them in games last year, just loving their offense. Knowing that Sean McVay he's a young coach, and just seeing how just the offense is run. And I've come from that. We ran a similar offense like that at Washington State, and even at my junior college. So I noticed that they got their receivers involved. So I knew it would be like the perfect fit if I made that choice.
Yeah, and kind of take us through this process. Obviously, I know you mentioned before the draft, but was it pretty much just as soon as the draft ended, you took the call, agent involved, things like that? Like, what was this whole thing like? Because obviously, I know undrafted rookie free agency is like a total menacing thing for a lot of coaches, just in general. But this year, especially, Les Snead came on. He came on a show, not our show, but he went on a show and basically said, look, we're going to have to do things differently. We're going to have our position coaches in different areas and looking at different players. Did you kind of feel that this was like, really all like all prepared really, or was this kind of like hectic and you had a bunch of teams all kind of at once coming at you?
I feel like it was kind of like on the run thing. Like, I didn't know how anything was going to go. And I kind of made my staff that I worked out with back in Anaheim. We kind of did the virtual pro day thing, kind of just threw it together. But we had like all the right tools to do it. And prior to that, I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't talking to any coaches. I'm like, what the heck? And then the pandemic happened. I'm like, I don't know how my name's going to get out to these coaches, but it has to be a way that it can. So the virtual pro day, I feel like throughout this whole process was one of the biggest things that happened for me, because I had everything on video, and then I did my 40 laser time, and that's what they do at the combine. So just a lot of things like that helped me for sure. I did all my drills, and that's what I start sending out to coaches. And a big thing for me that I wanted to work on was my speed, and I ended up running a 4.48, and that kind of surprised a lot of coaches too. So that for sure helped me. But after that, man, it was just taking phone calls after phone call and just, just explaining to them the person that I was, what I've been through, my story, and just hoping that at the end of it, I would land where I belong. So yeah, that virtual pro day for sure helped me. I kind of had a direction as to what was going to happen after I started getting those calls, and after that.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And just looking at the Rams team and looking on the wide receiver room, what are your thoughts on the Rams receivers, and have any reached out to you, or have you talked to any of them yet?
No, I haven't talked to any of them yet. Can't wait to have those discussions with them. But I just like how they're all ballers. I mean, you got Cooper Kupp. I watch his highlights frequently for the Rams, and I even followed him when he was at Eastern Washington. And I knew if he got his chance in the league, he would do his thing, and he's been doing that. Josh Reynolds, all those guys, man, they're ballers, and they play together, and I could tell that they're team guys, and they make it easy on golf, it seems. So it's just nice to see that. Robert Woods, obviously a guy that I followed. I followed him in college too, so I'm not surprised that those guys are doing the thing at the next level. And just to be able to be in front of them and learn from them, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, they're constantly helping, Goff out. Not that he 100% always needs it. I wouldn't say they're carrying him, but this is a really good, receiver room. And, obviously they added, Van Jefferson in the draft, and there's a lot of guys here that, are going to be, beneficial to this team. And I think the thing that's really important is when, Sean McVay or this Rams staff has reached out and has grabbed any receiver, over the last few years. They do everything the way it has to be done. They're route runners, but they have some speed, but they're reliable. That, you have hands, willing blockers. Pretty much you check all those boxes. So I wasn't shocked that you were a Ram. It's just obviously you're talking about 400 or 500 guys all in, a pool. You never know who's going to end up when there's only, say 25 guys that can be a Ram. With that being said, where do you see your role with the Rams coming in camp?
Well, I played inside and outside, so that's not a problem for me. Really just, wherever the coaches need me pretty much. I know probably as a UDFA, I'm going to have to play a little, some special teams, and that's something I also did in college. So I'm pretty much ready for whatever, man. I'm just really ready to just come in and compete, and whatever the coaches ask from me, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about the Rams receivers earlier, but the Rams head coach obviously is Sean McVay. So, what are your thoughts on him, and are you excited to get to work with him and orchestrating things on that Rams offense?
Definitely, I'm definitely excited. I see how he runs that offense and how he just spreads the ball out so much, and I think from anybody watching football and watching the Rams in the past few years, you could see how he does that. And, he just gets everybody involved. I think it's a balanced attack, with the run and the pass, and, keeps the defense on their toes. So that's the main thing that definitely sticks out to me when I watch how he coaches.
Yeah, definitely hear you there. This is kind of a question I always like to ask any prospect that comes on after the fact. What was your favorite part about this process, and what was your least favorite part about this whole process?
My favorite part, obviously, is just talking to Coach Yarbs, who's the wide receiver coach there, and just he called me and just told me he was ready for me to get there and just get to work, and that just got me fired up. I wanted to go out there right when he told me that. So that was the best part, just getting that call and just knowing that I have a place I'm going where they want me. And then the least favorite part, I would just probably say the calls on draft day. Like I was like, what the heck? Like, y'all calling me, but are y'all going to draft me? It was all types of – it wasn't even just the Rams. It was other teams. So I'm just like, bro, like, that was kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. I'm just like, you guys are calling me on draft day, bro, and not drafting me. So, like, what are you guys – like, what is the plan? What are you guys thinking? So, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the anticipation around getting all those calls and just wanting to finally, find out who your team is. So definitely makes sense there. But, just going into your first season, do you have a specific goal in mind that you've set for yourself for your first NFL season?
Just really to just compete and establish myself. I mean, coming to the rookie as a UDFA, I just want to prove myself. I just want to make the most of my opportunities. and live with whatever happens after that. I'm a big believer in God, so really just put my best foot forward. I'm really not. I don't get too crazy with with all that, but yeah, just put my best foot forward, just establishing myself, gaining the trust of Jared and the other quarterbacks and the coaches is my main thing.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of receivers that are called divas in this league. I would not be one to call you a diva. You seem very well, prepared and always impressed, by your answers, of course, and just your play on the field. I think it definitely speaks for itself. But one last thing here: what is Easop Winston Jr. bringing to LA day one?
Just somebody who's going to compete his butt off and just put his best foot forward every time I step on the field. My whole life, I've been a guy who've kind of been at the bottom of lists. I've never been the first guy picked in anything. So, being an undrafted free agent, it's just another way for me to prove myself. And, that's what I'm going to do because that's what I've been doing my whole entire life. And I know I'm not in uncharted territory. I know how to handle these situations. So I'm just going to give 110% every time I step on the field. And I'm gonna live with that, and I just hope my coaches and just the rest of the staff sees that about me.
Well, we love it. We're so excited you're a Ram. We're excited to see what you do this season, and we wish you all the luck. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk to us. We were really excited to talk to you face to face because obviously we did the podcast just over the phone, so this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Anytime you just hit me up, I always come on and talk to you guys. No problem at all.
Absolutely, man. It was a pleasure. Really happy you're a Ram, and we'll be rooting for you, man. Just stay healthy. That's the key.
Yeah. No, you're not lying. Yeah, definitely got to stay healthy. I'll do all I can on my part to make sure I'm in the best shape possible.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, you take care, and we'll stay in touch, of course.
Thank you. You guys too.
Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.